I'm sorry for the way things are in China. I'm sorry things ain't what they used to be. But more than
Welcome back to the White Time channel. Today, Aaron West and the Roaring Twenties in lieu of flowers. We
I'm hoping for a yikes today.
aren't we all? Careful what you
Oh,
wish
ask and
for.
ye shall receive, or
Ooh,
not.
almost. That was really close.
So close. That's fine.
We've been getting a lot of
What
semi-X.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why that is. Um, you know what? We're gonna do the Aaron West and the Roaring Twenties in
Okay.
lieu of flowers.
We're back. This is a semi-X. Again, you've gotten a lot of semi-X recently.
I know. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I think this might come out of left field because it's not something that I would usually add to the wheel. It's not usually something I would even listen to. But I was scrolling through Album of the Year, the hit website, and I was looking at critical top folk albums of the decade. And I was looking at the list, and number 2 was Javelin. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. What's number 1? And number 1 is this. So I listened to it. This album is decidedly not a folk album, but it is very, very good. So, yeah, I thought I'd bring it to the table and we'll see what you think. But I really
Yeah.
like it. So
I think this is rated like number 2 for critics this year, which is crazy because not a lot of people have heard it. I don't
no,
So.
like I think there's, yeah, none of these songs even have over 1 million.
Mhm.
So I don't know. We're digging through the trenches a little bit, but that's okay.
That's okay. That's what we do here. This
Yeah.
will not be the least obscure album we've done on the channel.
Well,
So.
that's true. That is true. But yeah, I guess without any further ado, we'll start with track 1, Smoking Rooms.
feels like shit's he feels lonely again. Majestic view of these rundown green rooms. All the grime and mildew. Bad graffiti on the cold cement. In the back halls of all these struggling rock clubs. Where I'm calling home from. And I'll be gone a few weeks, kid. I hope you understand. I made promises, I plan on keeping them. But everybody always leaves. I know you've had it bad, you've gotten.
All right. That was Smoking Rooms.
Very nice. Yeah, the categorization of folk might be a little bit of a stretch. Um, but I mean, it kind of was giving Mountain Goats in the way that it started with the progression. It was very skeletal. I can tell that this guy has a very solid understanding of emo, and that I think that's where he's been the most of his career. Because I think this is like a separate project, I believe, and he's from a
Yes.
different band
It,
originally.
yeah, it's a solo project for, oh, what is it? I wrote it down somewhere. Frick. Yeah, I forget. But yeah, solo project for the frontman of a different emo
Mhm.
band. He's done these
Interesting.
3 albums, and I think it's like a trilogy. They're all a concept.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this is a mistake, but I like this album, and I haven't gone back and
Yeah.
listened to the other ones. But
No, yeah, it's a great opener. It's a very interesting blend of styles because you can tell like just the way he's doing these vocal runs. It's like you have this emo kind of vibe within him, even when he's trying to make like this kind of folk song. Was not expecting the gigantic like explosion of instrumentation, but I love that at the back half. Very well earned. It's interesting hearing like these like emo kind of like yells over just like acoustic instrumentation. It's strange, but I enjoy it.
yeah,
And I love the horns at the back end. Fantastic.
I do too. Yeah, this feels like a great kind of like amalgamation of a bunch of different like genres and
Hmm.
inspirations. I mean, obviously you have like the emo or Midwest emo, but then you also got some of that like post rock stuff, like Black
Yeah.
Country New Road with the horns and stuff at the end. And everything just kind of works together.
Hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. This is like a great start to the story where the rest of this album goes. So I'm very excited.
Go.
Track 2 is Roman Candles.
It's almost dusk. I pull the car from the garage, light the oil heater up. To fight off early March, I put a baseball through the window, so winter's climbing in between the shards. The band shows up when everybody's done their shifts, and we play through all the changes. I wrote a marker on my wrist, and we talk about the future like we're begging it to kick our fucking teeth in. Wake me up when it's over. Someone stole our catalytic converter from the front yard. It's more than we can handle. Burn out like Roman candles. Wake me up when it's over. Ain't that the thing about hope? Ain't that the thing about hope? Each spring the mess will win the pennant, and your grass is gonna grow. Ain't that the fucked up thing about hope? About hope? About Wake me up when it's over. Someone stole our catalytic converter from the front yard. It's more than we can handle. Burn out like Roman candles. Wake me up when it's over.
All right. Roman Candles.
I'm almost getting whiplash like between sections. It feels so much like a pop punk group, but at the same time, it's so Midwest emo.
Yeah.
But then there's like Heartland rock coming in, and it's almost like a I don't know, war on drugs esque sound, and then you get the horns coming in. It's a great amalgamation though. Like it feels more mature than the usual pop punk records get, where
Yeah.
it's just like uh, average middle schooler angsty kind of playlist. I feel like this is one step above this. I get that he's playing this character, but everything still feels real and grounded and accurate to the time of today.
Yeah.
It's all these mundane things and not these like wild like my pain is so deep kind of lyricism that you get with some of those groups.
Right.
So it's a really nice mix. I'm really enjoying it. It has like a nostalgic quality, I think, especially in the chorus because it does sound very familiar. But I feel like the chorus is my least favorite part of the song. Every other section was great, but yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think that the chorus is kind of like maybe a little bit derivative, but
Hmm.
I really like the lyrics in this one, and I really want to highlight
Hmm.
that as this album continues, just because, you know, I feel like in a lot of emo or Midwest emo or whatever, I feel like lyrics aren't really the most important part. Like it's really about the energy. But here there's a whole lot of nuance, and it's like sad and depressing, but isn't just like saying it. It's like it's sad and depressing in like the way how realistic it is. Like
Hmm.
everything feels like, well, this is what this type of person would be, like an asshole alcoholic front man in this small local band
Hmm.
in New England. And then there's just like a bunch of like societal reflections in here too. I just like, it's all really really great, and it's really kind of subtle while also having that energy to carry through. So I don't
I
know.
think it's written like a folk song, but
It is.
performed not like a folk song.
That is true. That's a good point. And that will continue as we go on. But
Hmm.
yeah, I will say that song particular might be my least favorite one on the
Oh,
album, and
okay.
I like that one quite a bit. So I'll just say that. Um, we'll move on. Track 3 is "Paying Bills at the End of the World."
Real.
No one told the birds the world was ending, so they keep singing like it's spring. A walk with Colin after dinner. We split a Coke and watch the sunset do its thing. Church around the corners, having service on the lawn, and drawing pictures on the pavement, pastel sidewalk chalk, doves and palms and cartoon Jesus dying on the cross. I say he must be running late. We sort of laugh it off. I've been having that dream where I'm dying again. One where I get sick, we can't afford it. I've been walking around here with no health insurance. We can barely keep the lights on as it is. I've been having that dream where I'm dying again. The one where I get sick and we can't afford it.
Right to the end of the wire, that one. But that was track 3, "Paying Bills at the End of the World."
Fantastic. I think that's my favorite one by a bit of a margin.
Sure.
Yeah, I again, a different style. It's more country, heartland rock than the last tracks, and it kind of stays in that lane, but it really works.
Hmm.
Loving his songwriting. I think a Midwest emo album with lyrics that's grounded in the real world is just really great.
Yeah.
Easy to pick up on. Not like the emotional kind of like more uh, in like internal thoughts of Midwest emo aren't bad, but it's refreshing hearing something like this where it is like this is the average American experience for a lot of people,
Yes.
and it is gray and mundane and pretty awful. And the only real reprise we get from that is our pack of cigarettes and horrible coffee every morning to keep doing it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I just love the writing on this track and the way it sounds and everything. Like this sounds, you can picture every small town in America. Like I grew up in a town like this where like you have the bar in the corner. It's the one old main street. It sounds like
Hmm.
that, and it gets it across really really well. And 3 tracks in, you can tell exactly like this guy's kind of attitude and place in life and all these different things. So as a storyteller building the story, it's coming together pretty quickly already. So
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah, yeah, very, very, very nice. I love the sound of that one. It does take like a weird twangy twist, which
Mhm.
I like. Um, but yeah, I think I just really like how like mature the lyrics are. Like I feel
Mhm.
like that's kind of the issue that I have with a lot of emo stuff in general, is that it seems like it was written for middle schoolers, being like, "Oh,
Mhm.
school sucks, sitting
At
in
least
my
the emo we're
bedroom."
exposed to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe more like
Recommend us
pop
good
punk
emo
stuff.
albums, please. I want a little bit more of this.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I would welcome something, but I would just like, it was very refreshing listening to this. So I'm like, oh, snap. He's got stuff to say, and I like that. We'll move on. Track 4 is Monongahela Park. Monongahela Park, I think.
He says it, so
He does.
I haven't seen you since we were kids, and I rode a freight train out to come visit you in Pitt, and you laughed so loud. Lay your hand rest on my knee, I sip on a tonic 'cause I've been trying not to drink, and I flash back to us. Monongahela Park.
that did not help at all.
No.
The sheep on the sky. We shared as the sky went dark. And I'll drive you home, it's getting late. You smile at us, babe, we can stay. I'll take you home, you're on the way. We watch as the night starts to slow decay. I'll drive you home, it's getting late. My heart's an album. I built it so no one could ever get close again. I try to stay calm, but you slam the door and I'm already shaking and I collapse on the street. I saw the look on your face. I know what it means. Driving home, it's getting late. You leaned in and I turned my face away.
All right. Monongahela Park.
There we go. That was solid. I don't know if I have too much to say about that one. That one felt a little bit more like formulaic, like I've heard something like that before, which isn't a bad thing. But I think I'm drawn to the other tracks a lot more. This one kind of stays in that same kind of lane. I think lyricism too, like still great storytelling, but it is very like it blends into the background a little bit for me. Yeah, but the way he's doing his outros is interesting because I don't particularly like when you just stop everything and then say the last two lines like very dramatically with very, very little instrumentation. I feel like that's a cliche in my head that I don't really enjoy. He did that on the last track too, but still not bad. Just not my favorite.
Oh. See, this is where you and I disagree because that one is my favorite.
Oh,
Yeah, I love that song. I think it's like really, really great. Especially how like the bridge of the last song brings up, you know, he's working at this garage installation company and he meets this old person that was in his life at one point, and then they decide to go out for drinks, and that's what this song is. And I think it's like really, really great how like the energy is like it's there. It's like this is like the most up tempo song that we've had so far, and I feel like that's pretty indicative of like when you get together with someone that you haven't talked to in years and years and years, and you're like kind of nervous, but it's like, well, I'm also kind of looking forward to it because I remember fond memories. But what if stuff has changed? Like I feel like that like unknown is kind of really exemplified really well in how the song is laid out. And I just love that chorus. That chorus absolutely slaps. How it like kind of breaks down a little bit. I love it. And
I
yeah,
feel like that'll grow on me. Usually songs like that grow on me and they don't catch me on first reaction. I don't know why.
it could be. It could be. I don't know. I think this one took me a couple of listens to get to, but you know, ever since
Songwriting
then,
is great though.
yeah, I've just been. This is the one that I'll like repeat when I'm listening to the album. I go back and I listen to this one. Yeah, let me know if that's unpopular or whatever, but I don't care. Track 5 is Alone at St. Luke's.
Graffiti on the wall says fuck the Tories. Outside a takeaway, we're eating on the street. quiet, I think I could hear my pulse. The gigs in an abandoned church in Glasgow. The irony is a little on the nose. It's cold and wet and lonesome. What did I expect? Stained glass light just punched me in the chest. I'm spitting curses, hopping fences, burning out like true romantics, picking fights, it's fucking reckless. I've been thinking, as long as I'm still here, I might as well keep drinking.
Alone at St. Luke's.
Very good. The one quirk on this song that I really, 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 really like is once his band members get sick, it goes acoustic because it's just him. That is amazing. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. That's like a real purpose to like bring it down to an acoustic level, and that
Oh,
was really cool.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I was just like, whoa, he's actually doing it. So yeah, the picture painting across the record so far has been great, but that like is really, really, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the sentiment in this one again. The drinking seems to be coming in more and more as we keep going, which I'm assuming is the main point of it. Getting a little bit
Yes.
more depressive, a little bit more disconnected as we go.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm loving how easy it is to follow the story so far too. It's you really get it on a first listen, and it makes the emotion kind of come up quicker than you would with a concept album. So very good.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, yeah, this is the turn, right? Because like the last one, last song, I think it starts where he's like, I'm drinking a tonic because I'm trying not to drink. Now it's like, well, we're still alive. I'm not sick. Might as well be drinking. So this is like where it starts a turn, where he's like, he's dealing with alcoholism in the past, and now it's like, well, time to slide back. And yeah, I think that it's really, really effective. I didn't even notice that thing where everyone's sick and then it drops out. That was really, really smart. Yeah, I don't know. Really, really, really good. Track 6 is Whiplash.
Not my tempo.
Not quite my.
Like a gun in a Bible, it's a secret I keep. We were prophets on hillsides, back in London last week. Now I drive to the main show. Disappears like a dream. I broke my good hand out in pouring concrete. All I do is feels like whiplash on that when I come back, it's like whiplash.
All right, that was Whiplash.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm really enjoying like how fitting the instrumentation is to like what he's talking about in each song. Everything feels very purposeful the way he's setting it up, which is really nice. Love the twangy guitars on here again. I love when that kind of stuff comes back in. I think lyrically he's doing a great job as well. Just like the combination of like COVID and anybody who suffered from addiction or alcoholism and those kind of like fueling each other is just like demonic, and that kind of shows up in the song here in a really really smart way.
Yeah.
It's just like as soon as that gets flicked on, it can skyrocket at any point, and it's terrifying. So the way he's like kind of putting all this in this record is really 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 great. Like it's very, I would say, human. There's not like glorification in it. It's like we got sick and now we're back, and now I'm alone and I have my drinking problems coming back, and that's
Yes.
awful. And here we are. So yeah, really great.
Yeah, yeah. This one, it's really kind of sad, because I think I don't know. This might be the second act low point or whatever. Because like the first three songs, where it's like they're bad, but like at least he has like people around him and friends. But then at the end of Mahangahela Park, like he kind of kind of disses Sam, so Sam doesn't want to be with him in this song, and then everyone's sick, and so it's like he says in the very first line of the album, it feels like shit to be alone again, and that's when he starts drinking, and man, it's just really sad to see, because he's so relatable too. That's kind of what makes it so effective, is that you set up that this has taken place in the real world at a real place and time to a real person, and now we're just watching him kind of fall apart, and it's heartbreaking. It's really sad. But I guess we'll just keep going. Track 7 is Spitting in the Wind.
It never rained in LA the whole year that I lived here. But all day is pissing down a steady rain. And rolls of which laid and snuck in through the side door. And hugged me so hard, I thought my ribs were gonna break. And I've had a few drinks to steady the nerves. Rolls it gets out. Slurring my words. She seems worried about me again. Spitting in the wind. I'm spitting in the wind. Fuck building a bridge. I'm burning it down. I'll see you in the water. Call the lake bullet grifts, and I curse every out. It's a fucking disaster. And the whole band is pissed. They're letting me drown. I'll let them be slaughtered. Fuck building a bridge. I'm burning it down. I'll see you in the water. Rounds of us are split. Nowhere to be found. The room's getting darker. My voice sounds like shit. I'm blowing it out. I'll see you in the water. I'll see you in the
All right, that was Spitting in the Wind.
Very nice. I imagine playing this in succession was be a little bit of whiplash from Whiplash to this. But yeah, I do like the change of pace. This like how downtrodden the last song was, and then this one is just like bam in your face.
Yeah.
It's great. I love the kind of like downtrodden horns in this. It sounds kind of like a for Emma. You don't hear horns in that kind of context usually.
No.
They're usually like a happy, uplifting moment. But yeah, I love the sound of this one. I think songwriting wise, again, really smart. Just kind of like this spiraling, and he's just like adding up all the bad things that has happened to him recently, and he's just like, "What's the point anymore?" And just like sends it, and just starts like lashing out at everybody and kind of burning every bridge, as he's saying. Yeah, I'm really enjoying just like the thematic like story of this album so far. The music is a great like kind of background to it. Like I'm not getting blown away by things musically, but it sounds nice and everything fits where it needs to.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think that the storytelling really is the main draw of this album. Although I really like the music, I will
Yeah.
say that like yeah, it is it is the least important part here. But man, and this is coming from a guy who doesn't usually care about lyrics like this, but like man, it is like riveting. It's like a really really great story. Yeah, I don't know. I'm hooked. This is great. Track 8 is I'm an Albatross.
When I leave, it's still raining. I walk into the bar next door and hope someone will recognize me. Offer to buy me a stiff drink. I'm an albatross, yeah, no one does. I stagger to the fast food lobby, drunk and weak. I order food and fall asleep. And the cook wakes me up and asks me to leave. Catherine calls on the third day and says I'm still mad as hell at you, but I need to know that you're okay. And you paint out like a damn saint. You know that I loved him too, but he drank himself to death the same way. I won't let it happen twice. No, not again. It's time to get up and fix your mess.
I'm an Albatross.
Very nice. That probably very high up there for me. I really enjoyed that one. Yeah, this seems like the low point to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like taking the things of the last track and just like really hammering home how much this is just like completely destroyed everything that he's been kind of. He was on a decent track in the beginning, and now looking at this song, it doesn't feel like he had it that bad at the beginning of the album.
Yeah.
But yeah, just again the alcoholism and how it can just like tear everything apart, and you start lying and doing all this different stuff, and it just like explodes. Yeah, again, gorgeous songwriting. I love the way he's kind of tailoring the music to how he's doing this, and yeah, incredibly kind of real lyrics. There's no romanticization anywhere on this record that I've
No.
seen. So
Absolutely not. But I think some of that comes too is that this is a fictional character. So
Yes.
if
Yep.
if this was really happening to him, there might be. But I think,
Yeah.
having it be fictional does kind of give you the
one
freedom.
step remove.
Yeah, to be like, this is how it actually is. Yeah, kind of, well, I don't know. I was going to go on a long thing about The Shining, but let's just skip that today. Yeah, no, I think that song is really, really good. I think it's a more effective, slower song than Whiplash is. Like that is like, I'm an Albatross is like kind of heartbreaking, especially the last couple of verses. Really, really, really good. Yeah, I don't know if I have a whole lot more to say, but just very, very nice. Track 9 is Running Out of Excuses.
In a snowstorm, I'll watch the Bills lose in the playoffs from the common room. On the first night I checked in, and another replay of a lost youth. I thought it was our year. I guess I always do. I'm a stranger in my skin, but I let you down in LA. If there's a way to fuck it up, I'm gonna find it. I'm beaten down, I can't stay this way. Checked in on a Sunday, they took my sneakers and my phone, and my roommate caught me staring out a second story window. He says there's no point in jumping, kid, unless you're trying to break some molds. It says his name is Bobby, it's his third run of the place. I thought the pill lines were just in movies, I thought the nerves were gonna fade. He says hold out for his smoke break, it'll help you with the shakes. Feels like hell when you get going, but by Wednesday you're okay. I'm writing a love song, I'm singing in brick walls, I'm getting my voice back, and now I'm patching up new faults with resin and sea salt. I'm filling the old cracks, and I let you down in LA. If there's a way to fuck it up, I'm gonna find it. I'm digging out, I'm gonna set it straight.
All right. That was Running Out of Excuses.
Very nice. I love the sound of that one. I don't know, something about the guitar riffs on that one were just really nice. Yeah, songwriting again, fantastic. Checking into rehab song, really, really, really great. I've been listening to a podcast of like, because usually you hear these podcasts about like addicts and alcoholics, and they're like done and they're past it, and this one is like someone who is currently in it and out of it, so you get to hear all the different craziness that happens, and the explanation of rehab in this is like so painfully accurate that it's like scary.
Yeah.
Of just like you wait till your next smoke break. When you're alcoholic, you get like physical jitters and like hallucinations, and it can kill you through withdrawals. It's one of the only things that can do it with that. So all the things he's going into is like so specific and like real, and it's just like wow. I don't know if he experienced this himself, but it's incredibly convincing. But yeah, I think just coming from the Midwest too, like if you don't know someone directly who's an alcoholic, you probably know someone in your life who knows an alcoholic. Like it's very common up here. So you get this kind of like secondhand, like really feeling for this guy as he's going through this. So yeah, that one sounds great though. I love that one.
Yeah, that's a great kind of turning point, because I feel like those last 3 songs have been kind of rough. It's like, okay, let's it's a nice little change of pace. But yeah, I think that one's like high. That's like a top 3 song on this album for me. I love, it's almost like Black Parade or something, where it starts off with like this piano ballad and then kind of explodes into something bigger. And I just think that it's very, very effective at that, like you're getting into rehab, and it's like, well, it's starting off okay. And then once those like symptoms of withdrawal start going, then the song starts exploding and getting crazier and more elaborate. I just think it's very, very effective. Very nice. Track 10, title track and lead single, In Lieu of Flowers.
fucking afraid. I bit the ulcer on my tongue and spilled my guts in your driveway. And I've been hollow for so long, I figured that's how I'd stay. No one's seen me without my clothes on in almost a decade. You said, hold on, the wound is gonna mend, and when it's all gone, I'll write it with cement and blow a flower, shut the dead off. I'm with you till the bitter ends. Watchman sings in your window. You keep averting your gaze. Bought you a notebook and a hoodie. I know that I missed your birthday. And this time, sorry, don't cut it. All I can give you is space. But this next year's a leap year, so there's time when you're ready. If you're ready. You said, hold on, the wound is gonna mend, and when it's all gone, I'll write it with cement and blow a flower, shake the dirt off. I'm with you till the bitter end.
All right. In lieu of flowers.
Very nice. He sounds like so many people. His voice is so dynamic. Like I feel like
know.
it changes every song. Like, you sound like a different person in most of these songs. Yeah, really great though. Again, that reminded me of a lot of songs. None that I can name by name, but like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
reminds me a lot of things. I love. Feel like kind of wrapping up on the main narrative here and just having this explosion at the end. So I'm assuming the next track is more of a slower kind of outro, but I don't know.
Why are you looking
I
at
feel
me?
like
I'm
I've
not going to tell you.
Yeah, I know you're not. But yeah, I did really like the climax at the end. It felt very earned with like getting into the storytelling of this album really helps just the experience of it just like
Yes.
hit so much harder. So that build at the end felt very, very deserved and really great. So yeah, very nice.
Yeah, yeah. That one's a great song. I can see why. Actually, I don't know why that one's a single. Honestly, that's like the emotional climax of the whole album. Kind of almost a spoiler. It'd be like having like what does a dollar cost like be your lead single or something.
You need the journey.
Yeah, you need to journey. Because like he's like apologizing to all of the characters that he's let down, and like that's just super satisfying to see. Most of which they do accept, but the one that he really wants, that Colin, I think is his nephew, is like not willing to accept him right away, and that's kind of heartbreaking. But it's like, if he continues on this path, I see a good end. Hopefully. But yeah, I think that it's great. Great climax. But we'll move on. Final song, track 11, Dead Leaves.
There's a phone disconnected on the counter by the sink, and a note that you scroll down on a legal pad in blue ink. Last year I tried the number, but the line's dead. So I touch it for good luck when I'm leaving, and I take a train to the city. It feels like my life's playing back in reverse, and somewhere in the static I hear it mumble. satanic curse. My guitar and some clothes for the weekends. And I'll wave when we're passing through Brooklyn. The earth starts to open wide and swallows us whole when we get to the river. And I close my eyes, my ears start to pop as we go underwater. Grip the train seat, breathing steady. I'm gonna make 'em believe. Oh, it's near this time. Up the block, when I come to, I see your name on the marquee. And I smile, 'cause I love you and I know that you found what you need. And the future's a rhetorical question. So I open the door and I walk in.
All right. Dead Leaves and the album as a whole.
Very nice. I like that outro. You know how I feel about acoustic outros.
Absolutely.
One of my favorite things. Yeah, I think it puts a really nice bow on the story. Kind of leaves it a little bit open ended, but in a good. I don't want to say like positive, but like better than we were
Yes.
when we were really getting into it. Yeah, album as a whole, I think it's really great. I love the storytelling. I think that is the main draw, is the storytelling and the concept of the record. Like I wasn't really getting blown away by anything like instrumentally. Like sometimes it felt a little bit, I don't want to say generic, but sounds like something I've heard before. Not like anything too crazy, but at the same time, like when you have a story this tight and the writing is that good, you kind of just get sucked into it that way. I think these are one of these albums where I'm glad we do it on the channel, because I'm able to give it full attention that it probably needs. Because if I think I listened to this without lyrics or anything, I would not be like nearly as big of a fan of it
Sure.
as I am. So I'm glad we're doing it. We're doing it in like this format, because it really does just highlight what makes it great. How much I'm going to return back to it, I have no idea. There's a couple of great tracks on here. I don't know if I see it sticking like super big for me, but at the same time, like I appreciate the songwriting and everything that went into it. But at the same time, it's fall, and you put on some more Heartland rock stuff, I'm gonna listen to it.
Sure.
And some of those tracks are really great. So yeah, very solid overall.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I love that outro. I think it's really, really great. Especially since I think this project is not going to be doing anything else. I think this is the last song that the Aaron West and the Roarin' Twenties are going to release. So I think that it's a really fitting end for the character. It's a fitting end for the story, where it's like it's it's a little bit open to interpretation, but I like to think that he's gonna be okay. I think that's where we're kind of at. It's like, yes, he will probably he probably will relapse. It'll probably continue to hurt people, but at least for right now, he's okay and he's getting through it, and that's okay. But yeah, I think that this album's really phenomenal. I think, I don't know, maybe we disagree a little bit, because I think that the music does kind of stand on its own. I wasn't really paying attention to lyrics for my first couple times listening through it. And I think the lyrics definitely enhance, and it's definitely the main draw. But I do think that if you're going into this just wanting a kind of Midwest emo, like that style of music, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. I think that it does enough to kind of differentiate itself from other stuff in the genre, a genre which I'm not super familiar with, so maybe I'm not an authority to speak on.
Give us recommendations, please.
Yeah. But I think that, I don't know, I really, really like it. I think it's really solid. Whether or not I think it's number 2 album of the decade or number 1 folk. It's definitely
Especially
not a,
folk.
it's not a folk
album
album
at all.
No, I don't know why. No, I don't know if I like it more than Javelin. I think time will tell, but those albums are pretty much the same, so they do deserve to be judged on the same scale.
No differences.
No differences between Javelin and then Luna Flowers. But yeah, no, I think it's great. I think for once the critics got it right. So
Very rare.
yeah, very rare.
I was looking at the critics top of the year versus the user, and it is completely different.
I'm sure it is. But yeah, let us know any other emo albums we should listen to. If we should go back, should we listen to either We Don't Have Each Other or Routine Maintenance, the 2 that came before this? Really get the full scope. Let us know. But right now, we have to spin a wheel.
Let's do it.
Wheel. I hope it's a yikes.
Oh, sticking with our semi-yikes.
Okay. Yay, thank you.
You're in trouble.
Uh-oh. Okay. Oh. I am in. Oh no, I know what you're gonna pick.
You're
you
really
coward.
in trouble. Well, this will come out after Halloween at that point.
That's true.
Make it delayed though.
That's true.
October is the biggest music month, and I'm taking in a lot of stuff. So I think it is only right that we do Cemetery as a little bit of a break.
I knew that was coming, you coward.
It was between that and Bjork, so I'm sorry if anybody wanted Bjork, but those will be coming later.
You coward. Next time, Cemetery, Bloody Angel, I Hate You.
Except it will not be next time.
Oh, that's true.
Next week we have a twofer for you guys. We're doing Blood Bank Bon Iver and Sable, the new EP.
Yeah.
Since those are both short, we're going to get both of them done. There'll be 2 separate videos, but you'll get both of those. Then the following week we have a new Soccer Mommy album, which of course we're doing on the channel.
Absolutely.
We love Soccer Mommy. And then the following week we will get Cemetery's Bloody Angel. It'll be a delayed Halloween special, but a Halloween special nonetheless.
Yeah, because that'll be the first one in November.
Yes.
But that's fine.
Close enough. We'll be recording it pretty much on Halloween, so.
That's true. So it's good for us, at least.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do more fun stuff like that. I feel like we used to do a lot of those, and we don't anymore, and I'm sad about it, so I'm excited to make content again based off of whatever Cemetery has for us.
What is Bloody Angel? Is that like a new one?
I think that's the one that came out this year.
Okay.
Yes, it is. It is... Don't look up the length.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it came out this year.
You coward.
I was getting it confused with the EP he had, or it is an album last year, but the lengths of those two are drastically different. So.
Oh, jeez. As long as you're editing this one, it's fine.
I am definitely editing.
I'm not going to.
You get Soccer Mommy.
That's fine. Okay. But yeah, that'll do it for this video. Stay tuned for all of the fun stuff that we're going to be doing. We're also doing a podcast.
We are doing a podcast.
Well, I don't know why I phrased it like that. We've been doing a podcast for a long time. But we're doing a Halloween marathon. I'm watching George Romero movies and you're listening to spooky albums. So
Really?
all sorts of fun, spooky stuff over on the podcast. So go check that out. And also go check out our plushie that we're doing with U2s. It's really great.
I can't believe they picked us, but
I know.
we're close to the 3,000 subs threshold, so apparently that gets us a YouTube's collabs.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I can't wait to be a little Funko Pop.
Mm-hmm. You can buy it and eat it with your lunchly while watching Mr. Beast or whatever the kids do nowadays.
Kids love Mr. Beast.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a fact. Unfortunately. But that'll do it for this video. That's all I have to say.
Me too. Hit the sub button if you're enjoying. Or don't if you don't. It's your decision.
That's right.
You have free will. It's your life.
Yes, it is. It's
Bye.